Yeah, I would have different ones. Right now, I have two or three that I'm closer to than I have a lot of bridge
Yeah, the
people.
group
I have
that
a lot
you're
of bridge friends, but there's only about three that I feel really, connected to.
yeah, to share the stuff that, you know,
Yeah, I have a neighbor
you
that
trust, keep it.
we're so a lot alike. Uh, it's just scary sometimes how alike we are. I'll say something and it's just, oh, me too. Feel the
In
same
this
way.
complex here?
Yeah, she lives a
Oh, that's
couple
nice.
buildings
What's
down.
her name?
Diane.
Okay, you've probably talked to her about her.
Yeah, she's a real good friend. She'd be there for, and the friends that would I have different ones that if I needed help I could call.
So, like, depending on what's going on, you had somebody that was, I don't know,
Yeah.
just more inclined to know about some issues or, be willing to talk about some different things. Because I'm trying to think of, just kind of related back to me. It's like I have like a core group, but, if I have, a question about something like whatever it may be, it's like, I definitely talk to this person.
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't, it's kind of just a different type of subject. I wouldn't talk about it with, whoever.
Well, yes, because one of my friends, she's real good. We talk almost every day. But if I want to talk to someone about personal
Yeah.
and understand how I'm feeling, then I'll go more to Diane
Okay.
because
Just because you
we
just
just
have
think
that.
alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of brings me to another, like I'm just thinking because, just what I've been reading in general for my own entertainment is therapy as far as talking to people. Was that something that's always been around? Therapy, people sitting down and talking with somebody? Or is it kind of just you
Yeah.
have a group of friends that you know who to talk to and it would be different people, but it's like almost like a distressor, I guess is the kind of the whole reason behind that question is like, do you feel, do you have a lot of stress or maybe because you've had different friends and different types of avenues to go to, like you can get that off your chest?
Yeah. Well, when Lynn left, that was pretty stressful.
I'd say so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I would talk to the pastor. I'd
The
talk to people
pastor.
at the church.
Okay.
Uh, I think that probably would be my primary, yeah,
As far as a therapy or something like that,
as
because
therapy.
I'm reading about human consciousness and I'm reading about therapy and what people do, and I'm digging more into it, and there's just I feel like an enormous I don't need really I feel that people are having all of these episodes of these misunderstood kids nowadays. I mean, school shootings, that wasn't a thing back in your day,
Oh, right, right.
and
You
as
never
we're
think.
getting more, phones and connected, are people sharing less because there's more to be gained with information that just, if you don't trust them, they'll turn their back on you? Or is it the need for these there? I mean, because of that reason, yeah, to have too much of your stuff known by other people and too many ways to share it.
Oh, yeah.
You're nervous something's going to happen, so people just decide to turn inward, and just I don't know, people more stressed out. That's why I asked about that therapy.
Yeah.
I feel like there's therapists all over the place, and now it's like a normal thing. If you go to New York or whatever movie you want to watch, it's like everybody's got a therapist or two or three therapists, and I
Yeah.
just thought that was
Well,
kind of interesting that it's kind of a newer thing. I know I'm going
kind
off
of a
course,
different
but I'm
approach
kinda,
to it. Sometimes you have the need to vent.
yeah, yeah. That's a good way
You've
to put
been
it.
hurt or something has happened, you need to vent it. Uh, I have done that at different times. In fact, there's a women's retreat coming up in January at the church, and it's talking about a people pleaser. You always, try to, will people like you? Or will they, do you care what people think of you? And I feel that's right up my alley. I think that will be very interesting, and maybe I might learn something from this because I think I'm a people
You
pleaser.
think you're okay? That's good
I
to
want
ask
to
you.
and I want people to like me, and so I'm looking forward. So I think it happens, there's things come up throughout your life that influence you and change your way of thinking.
And the fact that you don't maybe judge it and you're able to take it in
Yeah. Well,
and not worry about what somebody's going to say. If you're a people
right.
person, it might, yeah.
And I'm trying to now to be more, this sounds selfish, but do more what I want to do and not what someone else. For instance, if there's a choice to be made between me and someone, I'll say, well, I don't really care. Whatever you want is fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
familiar.
typical of me. And then they choose. Well, it wasn't really what...
You're not really happy with it?
It wasn't really the one I would have chosen.
Yeah.
But still, what I said was true because I could do either one. I wasn't that sold on either one.
Yeah.
I could. It wasn't maybe the one I would have chosen, but I can do it. And so now I'm trying to voice my opinion, and speak out on what I think, instead of saying, "I don't care. You decide."
Right. And let somebody else kind of lead you down. Have you
yeah.
felt like you've done that a lot in your life? As far as
I have, absolutely.
Is it like any big time regrets like that way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not just like, hey, what do you want to have for food? Or
Right.
something more substantial. You
Right.
feel like you kind of just
yeah.
let the decision to somebody else, and
Yeah, I really, yeah.
so don't do that, is what you're saying.
Right, don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's an important message because I mean, just me and Mitch, and I don't care, whatever you want. Well, then pick something.
Speak up
It's
about how you feel and what you want to
once in a
do.
while. Yeah.
And
Guide yourself.
so I think this retreat that I'm supposed to go to, I think that'll help me develop that more.
Well, good. Yeah, if you feel like it was, if you can gain more, I don't know, pleasure doing that, like you just feel like you can take advantage of the situation, not take advantage, maybe that's not a good word, but be able to live, better that way instead of just saying, all right.
I think there'll be less regrets.
Yeah. Even still, just going, it's like, enough, why? Why keep going this way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm curious. When is that? I'm going to start seeing if your behavior is going to change here after that.
After that, that's in January.
Okay. All right. So after January,
Yeah.
I'm going to start posing
Time to
questions
do
to
it,
make you make
yeah.
a decision and see if that works. Let me get a little bit deeper. Kind of just on a different tangent here. Do you have any big questions that are still unanswered about your life? I mean, do you have any, thought you would figure something by the time that you're, 80 plus, that you're just still unsure about, or you wish you knew more about, or something still intrigue you that you wish you'd go, I don't know, research more into or something? Is anything still, I guess, something still amazes you that is still kind of a mystery, maybe? That's kind of a broad question, but...
Well, nothing comes to mind right now. I feel pretty much at peace. I feel content. I don't ever feel depressed that I can maybe think about. I may maybe get down sometime, but I'm never depressed. There's things I would like to be different, but I've learned to accept things as that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're not going to get everything you want. There's going to be times you're going to be disappointed in things, but you have to learn to accept it and go, that's the way it is. So you go on.
I think that's an important outlook, because imagine if you didn't think that. Imagine all that baggage you'd be dragging behind you. Not saying it's easy, just like, okay, I don't care. But just kind of just know.
Well, you can care. You can care, but you don't let it affect your attitude,
State of mind and well-being.
state of mind, right?
So when you say you kind of get down, it's like, bad days is just kind of, this is just a bad day, and it'll be all right. I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tomorrow's
really.
a new day.
I always tell myself, is anybody threatened to die? Is it that bad? No. Okay. Then it's going to be all right.
Right.
It's kind of like
right.
the thing I go back to is like, all right, how dire is the situation?
Yeah.
I do it a lot at work. That's the thing. That's why I had curious. Like, what do you tell yourself on the bad days? It's like I just go to the extreme. Any advice to any of the the grandkids or great grandkids really at this point? I mean, as they're growing up, in the milestones of 20s, 40s, even 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you would wish that you would be told back then, or something you just like to?
Well, I guess I would say, well, what we talked about earlier, don't judge people. Don't judge them. And that you're not, another thing that they tell newlyweds is don't go to bed angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, heard that.
And you shouldn't be, don't let anger take over your being, don't be angry. One of the things I'm trying to do is to talk less and listen more.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to do that. That's something I'm working on, is to listen and not talk so much.
That's tough.
It is tough because it's my nature to want to talk. So I have to learn to be quiet. Be grateful for what you get and not worry about what you don't have.
Yeah, I think that's important too.
And you
especially
probably
now, because people
Yeah.
put it all up on what they looks like.
Count
what they
your
got.
blessings.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
We will see. That's a good point. I guess maybe one last question. Is there anything that you want to do that you haven't had the chance to do yet? See if we can make it happen.
There are things I didn't do that I wish I could, but I feel I have limitations, physical limitations that I've learned to accept. Like I would have loved to have gone to London, or I would have loved to do more traveling overseas, but I didn't do it, and it's impossible to do now.
It's impossible now?
Oh, yeah.
Just with the flights?
Physically.
Or you just being too tired?
Physically,
or just
I
walking?
get too tired.
Like if you went to London, it would just be...
Yeah, it would be too much. So and that's something that I'm learning more and more to accept what I can do and not fret about what I can't do.
So is there anything that you can do that you still want to do?
Yeah, I'd like to go to Vermont to see these houses.
Yeah, okay. I feel like that can be arranged.
Hopefully. Next year, Judy and the family vacation, which now they've started, we're going to go to Hilton Head, which we've done a lot in the past. So that'll be one that'll be easy to do because we're going to stay in the same condo. I can go down to the beach if I want to. If I don't, I won't.
Right.
So it should be an easy trip. But I do when I get to Vermont.
Okay.
For
so
some
you need to get your
reason.
buns to Vermont. Is there any national park that you still have on the list that you haven't seen? I mean, you've hit quite a bit.
Yeah, there's there's some that I haven't been to, but I'm not going to. I don't dwell on the fact I didn't get there.
Okay, I was just like Yellowstone. If you didn't go there, I'd feel like that would.
Yeah,
be
I think
like
I would.
need to
Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon.
So I don't know if
Those
there's
are the
need
big
to go.
ones.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty good to have an answer like that. It's just I've seen the ones I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And if Vermont is man. That's easy. We got places to stay.
Well, yes, and Brian is working on
Is
getting
he?
one house ready for people so that if they want to come and stay at these houses, they can. I don't know how close he is, but he said it's getting very close
Well, I would
to
hope so.
getting
With
it
the
done.
sale of the house, he probably had some capital to reinvest.
Yeah.
Get one
So
rented out. Yeah.
you might want to keep that in mind.
I'm gonna write that.
He's going to have a place for people to stay,
Well, we gotta get you up there first.
and not
Like,
in the
listen,
house he's living in.
on that trip to see the houses.
I can't. It's hard for me to imagine keeping a house for people to come to stay.
That's the there's so much money in it these days.
I can't.
Airbnb and
I don't
what's the
know.
other one?
I
There's a
don't
couple
know.
businesses that do it. You just rent out their houses and they leave, and you live in their
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I kind of think I wouldn't mind going back to DC again, and there's been things that have been added and done that I haven't.
Like the monuments and stuff down there.
Yeah, well, like Eleanor, the Roosevelts. You know, they had that park, and Judy and I walked through it, but it was winter time, and I'd love to go back in the summer or the spring to see it. You know, then.
Like
When
in
the fountains would be flowing and be much nicer weather.
What's her monument? What is her walkthrough? What is it like? Have a name, or is it just the Eleanor Roosevelt Garden or something like
Franklin Roosevelt.
Oh, it's Franklin Roosevelt.
And then part of it's had Franklin and part of it's Eleanor, and this was a long rambling park, and I wouldn't mind. I've
cool.
not seen the Holocaust Museum they now have there too.
Yeah.
They have more things now to see.
I'm trying to think. I mean, the last time I was 8th grade.
I watched the travel things like Auto Club, and they have trips to Washington, D.C., but it always includes a trip to Shanksville, where that plane went down.
Oh,
You know,
put that
on
a
9/11.
stop? Yeah, right.
9/11, that plane went down.
But you wanted
But I've heard that's not much there. It's a long drive back in there, and there's not much to see, and there isn't much there. I thought, well, if they didn't include that, maybe I might be interested in going. But you got to go to D.C. You got to see
I
the
gotta see
9/11.
new stuff. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen the. Let's see. Like I said, I was 8th grade. That was, I don't even know how many years ago. And I can't do the math right now. 4, 8, 12, 22 years maybe, off the top of my head.
But it's very interesting. You got to see it. It's a must see. Judy and Allison and Morgan, I went to New York. Not all that many years ago, I guess, maybe 5, 6,
Yeah, I remember
something
that
like
trip.
that.
Yeah, just
It was great.
two girls.
Yeah, it was great.
So we got
The
Vermont,
Central Park
DC.
is really neat.
I've only been there once, but I remember you guys going.
Yeah, that was a
hustle and bustle there.
But you gotta go there. So, well, you've got a lot to look forward to.
I gotta plan it all out, or I'll never get to any of it.
I've got a lot of memories.
I appreciate you sitting down and, you know, I know it's only been an hour. You can sit for hours and try to extract all that stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm flying by the seat here with all these different types of questions, and I didn't want to get too heavy, but just a small piece. That's a lot of moving and shaking.
I've
and
never done this before.
Travel and me either. And just try to pack your life 80 plus years into an hour. It's not fair, but in the very least, we got a little something. I'll probably listen to it, and maybe we can have a follow-up or something. If you want to, you just probably spend hours just in your Japan and what you think about all that. So I'm just looking through here to make sure.
Well, I rambled on a lot about things.
I'm happy you did.
But I'm so glad you're interested.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to know more about you, and I'm not saying in a morbid way, but I mean, I didn't know much about Joanne or Gene.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know anything
sad.
about Lynn, because he was just pretty much removed anyways.
Pretty much.
I mean, not forcibly or anything
Well, when
like that.
I tell
but
you the best of my life started when he left.
Yeah,
That's pretty
right.
sad.
That's when he started living. Nothing there, but it's just how that that shook out. I just have some funny other questions I was thinking about this morning, but that'll spark a whole nother conversation. So maybe I'll save it for the next one, because these are heavier questions. Like, if you could download your brain into a machine, would you do it? So they're talking about that stuff. I don't want to go down that road just
You
yet.
know, when I had my cataracts removed, I had some implants put in, and I was so thrilled with seeing without wearing glasses, because I wore glasses since I was in grade school. So I said to Dr. Stern, "Now, when I die, could you use my eyes for someone else?" And he said, "No, Mary, it does not work that way."
They just don't take them and put them somewhere else? Well, they need to get on that.
But I was so thrilled that I could see without wearing glasses. And I thought, oh boy, I hate to not pass these along to somebody.
Well, there you go. There's an invention or something like that you lived through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
Take
be
the LASIK
nice
and all
if
that
they
kind of
could
stuff.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're doing all artificial stuff. I didn't know you had your eyes replaced for cataracts. They put a lens in your eye or something?
Oh yeah,
Fix some stuff?
it was an implant. They removed cataracts, Medicare pays for it, but these lenses, I think they said they would be $1,000 for each eye, which was fine with me, but I know it came in under that. And that's been quite a few years ago that I had it done, and it was incredible. I could read real small, and I could see. Now, not so good.
Yeah.
The one eye has macular degeneration in it.
Okay.
And so I'm really seeing distance with one eye.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Yeah, for what the
That's
procedure
okay.
did for.
Yeah. And I would not be surprised if I might have to start wearing glasses again.
Yeah.
But even having...
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
having this time without them is
all these
great.
other guys having readers and stuff like that, they
Yeah.
can't read them. I mean, I can't see for anything.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, it's been a minute. No, it's been an hour. It's been 10 minutes. So I don't know. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
I
don't know.
did.
I'm
I
gonna
did. It's kind of
save it
interesting, and
somewhere
I'm
else.
glad you.
Yeah.
you
Well, it's the
were
first
interested.
time,
Yeah, that'd be
Well, let's
good.
get the date. It's November 5th,
I'll have to remember
2019.
to put my books out on Israel and Japan the next time you come over.
Yeah. I want to see that in the shorthand
If you want to
too.
look at, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that stuff.
Yeah, it's really funny. It was a marvelous thing, and all these years later, I found a note that was written in shorthand, that was real old, and I could read it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
I'd probably look at it like, yeah, it's trash.
Yeah,
Somebody
it
scribbled
was,
on the thing.
Yeah, I'll have to
It's neat.
dig that out
Cool
and
piece.
put it on the table for you to
Okay.
look at. But I don't think anybody. That's a lost art.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
It
it.
is an art. It's
Yeah.
a lost art. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a hug. I love you.
Oh, I love
We'll
you.
wrap this up. Thank you. Appreciate you
Thank you.
sharing so much.
Oh, no problem.
Didn't mean to get so heavy to start.